I'm Zen, you're you. Haven't been out here for a few days. Uh, been interacting with nature a little bit. And maybe we'll do an interaction with the numbers 1 through 9 and their relationship to letters, and perhaps each one of them will signify something for people. In the sense of, if I say 2, you'd say duality, and we could talk about what duality is. We could say 1 and you'd say universal. We could say 3 and it'd be the triune, everything a triangle. Say 4 and could be a door, or perhaps the 4 corners of a room, or earth, if you like to use that word. 5 is physicality and Venus and Venusian type ideas. Perhaps love for some people. 6 would be something to do with sex or magic, as is 6 is hexes, hexagrams. Maybe we'll do all that. I don't know if I would do all 9, or even which ones I want to focus on. But perhaps we'll focus on the numbers 4, 5, and 6. I will try to re-release my old videos that I've fully discussed every single letter, every single number, and even you know what? A lot of people ask me about teachers and where do I get this? I have a video of my 33 greatest teachers. Oh no, it's a little bit out of. He said 33. He's a Freemason. And if I have 33 favorite, then there's probably a lot more beyond that. I could probably rattle most of them off my head right now. But let's get back to these numbers. Let's get into C.S. Lewis as the 4 types of love, which I don't believe there's only 4. I think there's a lot more than that. And we'll get into the 5 love languages, which is a book written a little later. C.S. Lewis was, I think, probably in the 60s or 70s. How far back did that go? When did C.S. Lewis write? Am I off by a century? When did he write? Didn't he write Alice in Wonderland? So he must have written it sometime in his life. I thought it was later, but whatever. C.S. Lewis wrote that, and the 4 types of love. I thought were something different than they were, but I suggest go look it up. And the reason that I can't remember it is because I don't agree that it is only 4 types. But they give you a simple idea. 1 would be the kind of love that you have universally. Then there's a love that you'd have for like a child. Then there's an intimate type of love that you have more passion. You have you love a dog different than you love. A universal love is different than you love a dog. Is different than you love a child. Is different than you love your mother. Is different than you love an intimate other. So I'm already not to say that love is so divisive, but one of the words that I hate, I despise it. More than the word hate, I hate the word love, because it's so misused and overused. It's retarded. I hate that love is so retarded. Maybe not love itself, but whatever the word means. Because you go to fucking coffee shop and somebody's gonna be like, oh, I love the soy latte. Like, no, you don't. You don't love the soy latte, macchiato, Ralph Macchio, cheese croissant, muffin biscuit thingy. You don't love it. It's just something that it's a delicious delight that you lust for in a moment. It's not love. So people confuse oftentimes what the single universal source code of love is. Love, life, all spell. Yeah, there you go. But also love spells vowel, which is to speak. VOLW or VOLE is vowel, because in spell casting, it's the saying of it. It's not the written word. The written word is a separate thing altogether. So, for instance, consonants don't. Let me make sure this. Okay, this is all free music on copywritten. Consonants are constant. Double consonants don't count, and vowels are granted to you. So vowels are interchangeable. So you can get rid of A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Get rid of them. So now you're down to 21 letters, which collapse down to 10 sounds. And the sounds are what's important. 0 through 9. 10 sounds. And those 10 sounds, so if I say vowel, just because you spell it VOWEL doesn't, you don't pronounce the W so much, right? So these words are very interchangeable, especially when you're using, like if you were used to gematria, it might not link up, but when you're using different coding systems for magic. So to further, what's up, Jonah? Further this idea of the overuse of the word love, it's a travesty. It could have been used for good, but it's always used as a, what's worse, enemies or friends? Friends always, right? Worst enemy can be your best friend your worst enemy. What's worse than hate? Love. It's because it's used improperly. And it's not that love is used improperly. It's not that they have mistranslated what it means. They've applied it to things that they shouldn't apply to. If you say, "Oh, I love you" to someone, but you say that to everyone, but you say that about a biscuit. You say that about a buttered corn. You can't do that. Like our language that we use here, no matter which tongue you speak in, I guarantee you there's enough words that you could figure out not to say "I love that" about things that you don't actually. It's a preference. A preference for something is well different, and a delight is well different than what a love is. Yeah. So it's something that people should really consider how often, why, and where they say it, and for what reasons, and what type it is, which would be the C.S. Lewis book. Look into that, 4 types of love. And then there's the 5 love languages, which I think are, and remember, the 4 types of love are interchangeable, meaning if the way that I do is, and this is with the languages too, just because you have a language of love one way, doesn't mean the love of language that I have is the same way. It wouldn't be the most prominent type of language of love. So the 5 love languages, I forget who wrote the book, and if you look that up, it should be pretty simple to figure out. Some people are acts of service, so you can do something for someone. Some are communicative. They like to say words of affirmation. So there's acts of service, affirmation, then there's physical touch, and then there's the 2 others I always forget. But if you guys want to look that up, it shouldn't be too much homework for you. Well, you put those. There's an order to those things that are just kind of your primal way of being. Maybe they're influenced, maybe they're from childhood, whatever. It's irrelevant. It's just the way people are. And I like to receive, not necessarily in the same I like to give. I don't prefer people complimenting me. I don't actually like it. But I understand why I don't. Because I don't if I were to let your compliment put me on a pedestal, then your insults would bury me. And I will not have either of those. It would be nice to take, I'd like to take compliments, but insults aren't going to work. So, sorry to break it to you. If I had to balance that out. So, words of affirmation, not my thing. Not my thing. Can I do that for people? Oh, absolutely. I talk to people differently. Words of affirmation, plenty of times. Acts of service, that's my thing. Big into that. Very big into that. Either way, actually. Meaning like do something really nice for somebody. Doesn't have to be at all, just whatever it is. Giving and receiving is up there for me. Touch for me. Oh, both ways. But, like some people that are like always touchy-feely. And I'm just, it's when you're touchy-feely, it's touchy-feely. And I'm a very tactile person, so that's up there on my list too, but it's under certain things, right? So you got, words of affirmation, touch, acts of service, and what are the other 2? I wish I had another computer sitting here, but I do not. So look those up and I put those in order. Give yourself an idea. Here's your homework. Go look at the C.S. Lewis things, find those loves and see where you place those, and then the 5 types of love languages. See which ones you like to receive and see which ones you like to give, because that will show you a lot about your interpersonal relationships. And by interpersonal, I guess just relationships. And I like how people like to use extra words where they should not be. So you'll find out those things will link up with 2 other things, which are Myers-Briggs and astrology. Astrology will link up with Myers-Briggs, will link up with your love languages. So in astrology, you have 12. In Myers-Briggs, you have 16. In love languages, you have 5. But again, I would insist that there are more love languages. I would have to look into it a little more. And there's definitely more than 4 types of love. However, I don't like to chop things up too much. It does link up. Like if you're a Leo, your son's a Leo, your moon's a Gemini, and your rising is Libra. You're gonna have different ways that you are around people, different way around individuals, and different way you are as a core of your being. And those things will link up with the way that you interact with other people. Like that will link up that astrology thing will link up with your Myers-Briggs test, will link up with your type of love languages, will link up with the way that so those things, they intermingle. They can change. All of those can change. Some people, like, I probably was way less, like, for instance, I was never a talkie. Like, I don't like to talk to people. I don't like the look and sound of my voice. Like, I mean, I do now, but that was development, and that's like Myers-Briggs. You develop the things that you're not good at. That's like why you know astrology. The point of knowing astrology is not to go, I'm a Pisces with the Libra in the in this 3rd house. Like, people do that, are obsessed, and they pigeonhole people into positions, but not understanding that the whole purpose of astrology is to become the complete monad, the center point of the sun. It's the gold. It's the circle with the dot in the middle. That's the perfect monad of gold, 24 karat gold. You can't burn it anymore. There it is. It's the realm. It's a singular eye. And that's the purpose of astrology. That's not to tell somebody where their 3rd house is with the Mercury rising. That's all well and good to help people, but that's not you're not supposed to be stuck in that. So it's like you alter and change your interaction with things. You don't just go, well, I'm just a Leo, so I'm always fucking gonna be all up in people's shit. You don't get to do that. You could, but why would you be stuck in that? Stagnation. So what's up, everybody? What's up, Skull? Happy birthday. Look at that, right on time. We're talking about the 5 kinds of love languages, and it's your 50th. Right there. 5 is Venus, which is the Roman numeral V, which has to do with love. And there you go. Happy. Who said it? That I don't like to call it my birthday. I like to call it my anniversary of birth. I don't know who said that to me the other day. I don't know if it was somebody like on TV or if it was just like in passing. Yeah, happy anniversary of the day of your birth. As far as you know. Because, I mean, hey, were you really there? Could you didn't. I mean, to say, were you there present physically at your birth? Of course you were. But remember, there's a born on day. There's a birth certificate. There's a certificate of live birth. And I believe there's a 3rd one, and I always forget the name of it. There's 3 different certificates. And they could be different days. Yep. It's kind of like a a manifest for a ship. For the docking of the documentation at the doctor. Allegedly, Dave. Allegedly, this is Skull. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you say you're in a city, like, are you in the city while you're in the plane in the air, or proper? Then what if as soon as you touch down, as soon as you open the door, as soon as you get off the plane, what if one person decides to write down the manifest? Because I've worked at an airport, you can kind of, you know, on time, even if you're a minute late, you could, hey, we're at 12:50, and you're looking at the watch like it says it's 12:53. Captain says 12:50. You got to write down 12:50. It's just what it is. That's what the captain says. Put it on the dock. It's done. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't get into all that with people. I've made videos about it, but I know a lot about it. The whole maritime and the admiralty, and I mean, I've worked in the businesses and I've studied it, but it's just such a big, wide open thing that I would have to focus completely on that to explain it to people. So I would just leave that up to everybody else. That's their thing, you know. I just like to make broad brush strokes of all the things that I know about, because if I got too focused on something, that's all you're gonna get. Like, if you guys were like, okay, I need you to tell me how to, you want me to tell you how to wire a house? I can tell you how to build a house. I can tell you simple things about like wiring and what not to do and what you should do. But you want me to tell you how to wire a house? Or you want a master's electrician license? Do you know how long that's going to take you? Do you know what you're going to have to understand? Do you know what you're going to have to? No. So I can't do that. Skull, I've considered this. And yes, and yeah, like really, like not figuratively, like physically, not just like the giants of old, like for real, for real. Like, I mean, the giants of old were probably the giants of old. Like, why wouldn't that happen? Your bodies were if you've been around for this long and the cells in your body just start to listen to you and interact with a new landmass or a new plasma that's being poured into this realm. However it works, it doesn't really matter. Whatever, if it's either man-made by a computer system and somebody just hits a button and everybody's like, well, now the cells in your body are all different, and you just like Super Mario Brothers, wah. Or if it's just some organic whatever, it's all the same. But I think so. I wouldn't think not. Was that Divine Hazel? Yeah, they've done it before. Maybe there's something to that too. I mean, I always thought the Super Mario Brothers was kind of allegory. He's wearing red and white. I'm gonna need a mascara. The mushroom god. You kind of get bigger on it, and there's spatial references. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Take this. Bigger, smaller, compresses reality, but it's all perception. But from a physical reality, because I'm not perceiving myself as any bigger. I'm still this size. But then again, I could be in a house that's, 50-foot ceilings. You don't know that. How would you know? I mean, think about how they made, say, like, I'm sure they did it in Harry Potter too, but Lord of the Rings, they did a lot of it. There was a little bit of green screen, but everything that you seen was camera angles, and the way that they were using old school techniques to do something really, really awesome, where they would have like someone stand way in front and then put the other person like this so they looked like they're yeah. But what if really I'm actually 30 let's see, what was it, 6'12", 6'12", 15, 18 foot, oh no, it was a Fibonacci sequence for giants, right? So how many feet would it be? What is it, 42 feet? Guess I'm 42 years old, so 42 feet. 60-foot ceilings, how would you know? It's like, do you remember one of my favorite shows growing up was Fraggle Rock. If you didn't like Fraggle Rock, what's exactly wrong with you? and they'd always eat the crystals. I always wanted to eat those goddamn crystals. But they went outside and there was all the giant Ophi ones, and the dog was mad bigger than all these little Fraggles. They were just designing everything. It was kind of like if you were to do DMT and you'd see all of the building reality with crystals and light structures, and they're like, oh, welcome to the, what the hell are you doing here? Yeah, man. Skull, stick around. Should be fun. 2050. That's in the real world. In the real world, if we're being, if let's just break it down. If we were able to if we were to erase the stupid shit that we've consumed, and I'm not talking about eyeballs and ears. We can alter that, but I'm talking about like the food items and the disease, disgusting pills and poisons and all of that. If we erase that from our reality, for everyone, living to 70 that's a walk in the park. That's easy. We should be living to many, many hundred years old. But most people, I think, because of all of the poison, and who really wants to? Like, if you're not a little pissed, a little upset, a little fed up with reality as a totality, you're not paying attention. The trouble for some of us is like, we don't like discomfort and pain. And we know how to regenerate. We know how to heal ourselves. So like, man, I gotta stick around longer? Like, shit, is this not enough? But in reality, like, we can screw things up and fix it real quick. Look at, how long do you think you could live? Like, really, really. Get rid of what you think of the news. Get rid of what you think of relationships. Good word. Get rid of the poisonous drugs. Plant life is fine, alcohol's fine, pot's fine, but I'm talking about the poisonous drugs with all the salts and addictive shit in it. Go smoke your tobacco, whatever you like. But get rid of all of that. Wouldn't you like to live longer because people would have better relationships with each other? They wouldn't be so shitty. Get rid of the shitty relationships with everything. Humans, foods that are not food. They're not offering any nutrition. 350, 400. Yeah, I think 350 is about a good for if the next if the reset is like, hey, welcome, the world is actually how you thought it was. 300 is probably going to be like, oh shit, that's like you're, how there's like the rebirth of all of the planets, the wandering stars, the cycles of. So Mercury does this thing in retrograde because it's an inner planet. It's an inner star planet. Anyways, and then as you move out, it's a longer cycle. And those are the resets. As soon as it gets to that larger cycle, it's like, as a clock is working. As the one goes in, it clicks the next one, and that one goes and clicks the next one. And that it just takes. So this one's running around 3 times, and this one's running around 1 time. This one's not even halfway around. So those are all resets in a sense for self. So I mean, wouldn't you just live out the whole damn thing? Eons. I mean, I don't for a second doubt that I've met people that were way, way old. But why would they tell you? Like right now, if somebody came up to you and told you they were 200 years old, you're like, yeah, right. So they could rip off all facts and narrative of what's going on in the last 200 years. Who cares? You're not gonna know it. You weren't there. You don't know anything about it. You'd be like, oh, maybe you're really like a, what do they call them? Idiot savant. Like you've read a couple books and you know what the book said. So and you obtain and maintain information. You can recite that. Yeah. Well, you know when you look at somebody, they're like, oh, they're like 30, and then it's an old woman. She's a vegetarian. She's like 60, and you go, what the fuck? And she took care of herself. Could you imagine somebody being 200? You wouldn't accept it. You could not accept that. People would have an easier time accepting an alien invasion and that sticking poison into their body through needles is, they can accept that's a better reality than somebody can just naturally live to a few hundred years old. That was an impossibility. They don't want to believe in giants. That's too difficult. They don't want to believe people that can live to like advanced age. But these other things, they just write in there. Of course, why wouldn't they? Science will save us. Hey, well, cheers, everyone, to tomato juice, some hot sauce. I don't normally drink Bloody Marys. And funny enough, I will not say her name, but I'm guessing her name is something that rhymes or is Mary. And there's a very long joke that if she's listening, or I'll tell her that I said this because it's funny. Yes, Mary. And so I've been drinking Bloody Marys. Wink, wink. You ever get your Red Wings? Ah, jokes. Gotta throw some. We still haven't got any poop humor yet, but we did get into blood humor. Oh, but it's kind of like, it's more like a michelada. I did not, however, add the clamato because I don't know where it is. There's clamato or shrimp. You know, there's clam juice, clamato juice, but there's a shrimp variety, which is actually tastier. But hot sauce, beer, hot peppers, garlic, onion, Worcestershire. If that's the most difficult thing in life is to say, sorry, I love you, and Worcestershire, whatever it is. So divine, what do you mean? Poopy happens? Oh, we haven't got to a poopy joke yet though. We're 30 minutes in. We haven't got any. It's not a complete show unless I talk about bowel movements. Maybe I haven't had one today. Pretty cleansed. Couple beer, good nap. Couple beers. Some coffee. On my A game. I mean, according to some people, others I don't know. Let me adjust the camera real quick because I don't know if I don't know. I don't want YouTube. If anybody is any of the people here are walking around naked, we cannot have that on camera. We could do that on a different channel. But if this goes on any more than 40 minutes, remind me to change the music because I don't want to get a copyright on it. This is copyright-free stuff, and I don't have any of my music equipment to play any of my stuff. So if you guys get the free 99 stuff on the YouTubes. Alexander, what you talking about? What you talking about? What is up? I don't know. Are you spazzing out? How's Cali? How's Cali life? I'm actually probably in an equivalent area to where you live right now. Like how because you live like in the you super country right now, right? You're always spazzing, yeah. Yeah, you are the top of the mountain spaz. If you all don't know Alexandra, she is a perfect spaz. Like happy spazzy, like she seems like she drank like 6 cups of coffee while she was sleeping. Oh, you're in LA right now, like the proper LA. What the hell are you doing there? That's wow. You probably fit right in, huh? But no, what's you live near San Diego, right? Like in the hills. You like in the sticks. I'm just saying I'm equivalently in the sticks of far out, bro. There's like the closest neighbors are cows. Like literally cows. I'm not talking about like fat people. Maybe horses. I don't know if the horses or cows are closer. Anyways. uh, you brought Bear out? The mountains of LA. Yes. Wait, Alexander, you're not kidding, are you? I wasn't. I was kidding, but you literally did drink a whole French press of coffee. Well, no, it's not. It's not that. It's not that sticks here. I mean, it's out there, but it's close enough to. There's still town. Wait, you really drank an entire French press? Oh man, that's why we got to talk whenever I'm drunk enough to deal with your spazziness. Because I think do you ever even not drink coffee? Just coffee, pot, and tobacco, just straight through the day. You know what you need? You need one of those. You know that one of those when people go to the football games and they got that helmet on and they got two like where their beer cans go with two straws. You should probably get that get a workman's helmet. So that way, if you go into any caves and you're doing some spelunking, you can still have two things of coffee up on your head. Yeah, a whole carafe. Is that what you call it? A carafe? Or is it a? I need to know. Is it a carafe or a carafe? So you go to breakfast, right? And normally you'd order or a brunch, you'd call it, and you get mimosas. You get a carafe or a carafe. Is it preference or is it an actual way to say it? But I would say you could put two of those up there with coffee in them, so you could get a carafe or a carafe of coffee. It's a full point. A full point. Yeah, good to see you, Alexandra. Yep. You are. Yep. You. One of these days we'll chill you the fuck out somehow. Unless you like being all spazzy. What's up, Rompy Cabeza? What are you doing? You are coffee incarnate. That's so funny. I was watching. Have you ever seen Cupcake and Dino? It's like a Adult Swim cartoon. Cupcake and Dino. I think it's the first or the second episode, and they're about to go work on a movie set, and they're so excited. And the woman that's the head of the director, she's a giant cup of coffee. A giant, no, actually, she's like a giant. Yeah, whatever. Like, what do you brew coffee in? What if you he brewed the coffee? There's some Jew joke there. Two mugs, and a French press. Yeah. So as per usual, if you do require any assistance with mental, physical, or emotional help, I'll send you an emotional support hamster or a gerbil. Only if you promise to not Richard Gere that shit. That means don't stick the animal up your butthole. Hey, poop jokes. Got you one there. That was butthole poop joke. I think we can go with that. Oh yeah, if you guys need any help with anything, you guys know my email, Theoluminous, TheoLuminous. That means God Light, Gmail. Or you can just because I'm awesome, you can donate and tip or whatever. Look beneath the description box. TsarXen, TSAR, capital XEN, CashApp, PayPal, all that. Yeah, I can do that every once in a while. Yeah, it should be beneath. Oh, Alexander, now you see you drink so much coffee that you actually are considering making one. What you should do, I would maybe you could use a magnetic magnetized Velcro. You know what I would do? I would do both. Because eventually the Velcro is going to lose its Velcro-iness, but the magnet is not going to be strong enough unless you get something that is going to be, brain altering. I'm being serious. Like, you're probably thinking about making one, and you probably would need to use like some. I don't know what kind of magnet you'd use for that. The circular ones. Get one. You'd have to need a couple of those because you don't want the thing. You'd have to get the plastic containers too. But you should do like those behind some Velcro and then put the magnet on the other side. Velcro magnet, best thing ever. What the hell music? I don't know. It was okay. Okay, well, thank you for telling me. I'll change it. Damn. Bitch about it. I don't know. I'm using a really silly remote that I don't know how to use it, so it takes me like 10 minutes to type it in because it's like an Apple remote. So it's very sensitive to where you I don't know, where you touch it and it can just jump all over the screen. I don't know. So I just tried to type in copyright free music, and it took me like a good 10 minutes. So here I am now trying to play some. Should I play what I normally play? Like some just loopy jazz or some Ibiza house, some lo-fi study hip hops. Oh, here we go. Lo-fi hip hop music, lo-fi beats, no copyright. Boom. And it's 3 hours worth. Well, I don't think I'm gonna do 3 hours of the show right now. I mean, if people show up and they need help with something, I'll do it. But burp God in the building, remember that. See, look at that. I just tried to hit a button that said that should have been on skip ads, and now I'm all over. I'm not even doing that. See, do you ever seen this remote? It's weird because the top, it doesn't tell you what you're doing, but if I could hit anywhere on there, it's weird. I'm trying to click and then it moves and goes up or down. I don't know. It's not my trying to figure out how it works. You're taking notes on what? What I do? Or you already know how I do, Alexandra? What do you want notes on? You want to talk about sustainable farming? Do you want to talk about mental health? Do you want to talk about intuition? Do you want to talk about organ cleansing? Do you want to talk about let's see, what do you astrology? Another ass joke. Somebody don't know how to build something? Like it's gotta be confusing to some people. Like, I'm not joking, but I know how to do more things way better than most people. It's a fact. It's a fact. Or you could just pick my brain. What do you want to know? It's easy. Who the hell else is going to go on and do like 10-hour shows? Somewhat coherent. Okay, I'll turn the beats up a little bit. What do we got? This should be good. I just don't want to be too loud because I don't want it to overwhelm the awesomeness. How do you use a level? You're kidding, yes? Well, you gotta check check your gauges first. You have to make sure there's enough water in there. Fill it up perfectly with water. I mean, if you've got to get to it, a water level is the greatest level ever. All the digital ones, all that other bullshit, you can make. Anybody can make a water level. All you need is a tube. You put water in it. You tie one tube somewhere, and the other, you tie one into the tube one place and one the other, and the water will always. So no matter what you're doing, whatever you're building, a water level is by far and away the most accurate level. You could pull it for, say, 50 miles, and it'd still be level. Almost like if the realm was flat or something. Yeah, water. Seriously though, I mean, I'm pretty sure that most people that worked on job sites, you have the normal level with it is a water level. So they take that little glass piece and they arc it slightly. They put enough water so the bubble in it is in the middle, that is the same thing in reverse. If that makes sense, because they're putting the arc in the level, and then they're letting the water subside, and then when the bubble gets right to the middle, that's, but then using a water level, it does the opposite thing. It allows the water to come to level rather than the bubble. So we're talking about levels. Look at that. See, a framer. Oh, so you just hang things? Well, I've used to frame things so much that I was pretty good. I could do by eye. Once you've done something long enough, when something's level. You just kind of get a feel for it. I did have one problem job, and it was a fun job. It was an old house in Baltimore, and the person wanted us to pull down all the drywall, but everything's a row home there. Let's start with this. Everything's a row home, which means it's all brick in between houses, but they're stuck together. But they want the drywall, which is plaster. Most of the time, it's just plaster. You scrape the plaster off, and then you put a polyurethane over it, or a clear coat or something. Anyway, so once you clear that down, there's like chimneys and things in there, but it was crooked because the house was not straight. The whole block was a little kind of crooked, and so we had to somehow figure out how to make the wall that we're putting up look level with the because we can't fix the brick, because we'd have to reframe the entire house, and that'd be like, that's too much money. So the bricks were sitting at like a 79-degree angle, and then we got to try to figure out the perfect angle to make the drywall look like we didn't screw it up. But if we followed the angle of the bricks, it made the room look like it was going to fall over. So we were just playing with this all day. I mean, not all day, it was like a couple hours, but it was like, damn, how do you make something that's not level whilst the floor also had a level in it? And this is a house that in the middle of it, we had to, I don't know if you know what have you ever been in a kitchen? That there's like so you have an island in the kitchen, and then you have what goes into the next room, so you can cut out that little, I don't know what the hell you call it now. It's been so long, I forget the name of it. But anyways, we had to figure out if this is load-bearing support walls to cut it out. So we have to like jack the whole fucking wall up. But this just to cut out a space through, because they got the kitchen on one side, and the other side was the dining room, but it was separate, and they didn't want it separate. They wanted to have like a little dining bar. Man, that was a fun job. So yeah, we had to level things and straighten things by like adjusting how level it was, because floorboards were off, and it was just like, yeah. It's why it's easier most of the time when something isn't squared off to just knock the whole house down and start from fresh. It's cheaper. Darren, this is not my domicile. This is I think a friend of mine. I think she's still my friend. I'm not sure. I think so. I don't know. Try. But yeah, no, it's actually really cozy. I'll show you the property. That's awesome. It's in Mississippi. I'm in the country. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome place. There's a pig. There's chicken hawks. There's dog, cat. There's all sorts of creatures. Lots of acreage. A barn. Lots of cool stuff. It's for me. Have you ever watched any of like the zombie apocalypse movies or the shows? And they find that little farmhouse, and there's always that like place that's the easiest place to kill zombies, and it's always like one of the it's just off the road, and like they can see the zombies coming, like, and they got the fences up, and they got the chicken wire up, and they got so yeah, it's like that. It's very zombie killing kind of place. Cozy though. What up, Darren? Oh yeah, well go Skull, enjoy letting your dog out for poopy pants. So what else? Where were we talking about? Framing, building houses. What else do you need to know about building houses? We got framing and a silly job that I did. Oh, I did a couple other really, really funky jobs. Because working, because rehabbing houses is a whole thing. You know, especially in certain cities, because nothing is plumb. Nothing is flat and level, and you have to make like little adjustments for how plumb a house is. Alexander, what is the uh-oh about? What, killing zombies or the? Because I know sometimes the chat gets backlogged. There we go. Backlog chat. Hit that button. Is that corn, Alexander? Feathers? Yeah, feathers. Cool. Hmm. Yeah, this place was built by some architects. So I don't know if it was both or one of them. The people that bought this house, they bought it from some people that were architects. So this is all kind of built by someone that they knew about vaulted ceilings and fireplaces right here, and we got like in the floor. There's like right where you'd put the couch. There's like outlets in the floor, which is so cool. I'm like, where am I gonna plug my phone in? Oh, it's right there in the floor next to the yeah, set up perfect. Yeah, cozy place. Lots of room, space. Got a backyard for a dog plus backyard for, and then you got a side yard and like lots of trees. And I'll take you on a tour perhaps if I don't know if I'll ever be invited here again though. Hope so, but I go from making a good impression to doing something that I'm unaware of, ruining something somehow. That's just like my general thing, and I don't even know what I did. Not yet. Maybe I've made up for it somehow. We'll see. Divine. Good question. Darren, I don't think so. I mean, it's a. I don't want to get. I'll talk about that another time. It's not. I don't think so. Perhaps. No. I still have my. This is brand new. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I didn't. I don't know. It's just perhaps. No, I don't have a wife. I have not had one. You can tell there's a fireplace. Yeah, it's right there. It's pretty badass too because it's angled into the house. I don't want to show the whole house because it's not mine, and I don't. It's just kind of like putting people's faces on camera. I don't really like doing it if they want to be. Yeah. Like lot of good, very cozy. It's not just that there's no neighbors really, and it's like crickets and turtles walking around, and like it's not that it's farmy and quiet. It's like the house is good bones, good energy, lots of wood in here, a couple different types, and then the fireplace is mad big. It's like yeah, but it is also funny too because we're still in the South. you'd probably get to use that thing 3 times, maybe 3 times a year, perhaps. I mean, I suppose you could have it. I mean, if you're the kind of person to just leave your doors open with the screen, windows outside, whatever, you could just have a fireplace going because it's fun. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. What the fuck? You could, you could, perhaps. Okay, perhaps if I'm invited for another day of hanging out, you can meet the animal. The animals like that. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the cat has not come over here and sat on on my lap already. Normally, cat would come do that. Cat would come. There's the biggest pig I've ever seen in my life. I did not realize pigs got this big. It's like a 500-pound pig, 500 pounds. I don't know. I don't. It don't. It doesn't. It doesn't get off the ground. It just sleeps, and it is just. And I was like, dude, where did you get this pig? Why do you have this pig? And she goes, well, we used to have a stock of chickens, hens and things in here. And one of the whatever lives out here that eats chickens, like whatever animal that is, like we'd lose chickens. And then and so their neighbor was like, yo, just get a pig, and you put it in there, and the other animals scared of the pig won't come in there and eat the chickens. So they bought a pig, and like chickens never died after that. But now they don't really live out here, so the pig is just a big pig. I don't even know if it can walk. I mean, I think it can stand up and move, but it's a big pig. And there's no chickens left in there. There's 2 chicken somethings. I don't know. Cool pig. But I just always thought of pigs as, okay, oink oink, pink, maybe some hair. I know potbellies are small, but pigs are usually like 250, 300. Nah, this shit is massive. Yeah. Yep. You have to see it. It's cute. It was sleeping. It was sleeping. When we got here, my friend was like, "Oh my god, I think she's dead." I was like, "Oh, dude, the first time I hung out with this is the first time I've been to this place with hi puppy head. So that's puppy here, old puppy. Hi baby. Um, we get here and I was like, Jesus Christ, am I really going to the first day I hang out with this person at her crib? I have to deal with like her losing her pig. I'm like, oh, that would be so awesome. Great first date, huh? Can you see the puppy? Yeah, I don't think anybody would care. You want to see the puppy and the cat? I'll show you the puppy and the cat. I don't think she'd care. If this is some like major like fucking thing, oh no, there's the puppy. Where's puppy head? There's puppy. Wow, hi puppy. And there's cat right there. There's cat. Puppy and cat. Puppy is much older. Yeah. Yeah, the cat would come over here. The cat is actually, I don't really like, I really don't like cats that much. This cat is pretty awesome. It's very, and look at, she's got pictures of her dog on there. Yeah, that's how her. So her ma got her pictures of her dog. So there you go. Yeah, cool little animals. Yeah, they both. She's like, she looked at like when I got here. She's like, why do the animals like you? I don't know. Animals tend to like me. It's just something. It's weird that animals like me more than humans. My charm is unconscionable. It's it speaks beneath words. I know. Yeah, see, I would normally, I'd be normally over on that couch right there. Uh, and the dog comes over and sits at my feet, and I smush its head, and the cat sits in my lap, or around my feet or whatever. And she's like, "Why does that? Why are they not playing with me?" I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just fresh blood or something. There we go. Cool. I mean, I'm gonna go make a drink. You guys want to come with me? I don't really think anything. How would I do this? I just want to go make a Bloody Mary right now. That way, continue this talk on about whatever you guys want. Unless, of course, this is not entertaining you. Oh my god. Hold on, now I gotta wipe my face off. Hold on. How much of a Gnostic ideology do you agree with? Rompe cabeza. That's a really huge question. What do you mean? I'm of knowledge. 100% of it. A Gnostic idea means to know. Gnostic is of the word. Like, so if you look in the word diagnostic, diagonal gnosis. Gnosis is the root word for knowledge. So I would agree with knowledge. You got to give me like, you mean like people that present knowledge as the Gnosticists, right? Like, am I agnostic? I'm agnostic about certain things, but fully agnostic because why would what is of a higher order than knowledge? I would say humor, joy, but you know, it takes a little bit of knowledge to be funny. So now, okay, well, I mean, so you want to Gnostics? Gnostics are equivalent to evil demiurge people. Why they got to be evil, and what of the demiurge? You're trying to go deep, Rompe. We're gonna go to drink for your depth of. I love it whenever I'm like, hey, let me do this. Get this off my face. I don't want to put anything of. You guys can just come in here with me, and you can look at the ceiling as I make a beverage. Oh man, and I gotta clean my mustache off. Look at that. What a dummy. Here, you can have. Here, look at this. Look at the ceiling while I make this, and clean my mouth off. You gotta, and I'll talk to you like this. What do you mean? Like, how much of it? You've made two wild, different connections between. Well, you've made an assessment that people that the demiurge people are evil, and then you've also called them Gnostics, which you're making. You're putting three things together that have nothing to do with each other. Evil has nothing to do with the demiurge. Gnostic has nothing to do with evil nor the demiurge. So that's going to be a troubling one to even start to deconstruct for you. I would show you how to make this drink, but literally I don't want to put anything of her, like, like personal items on here. I don't know what the fuck's in here. So you guys can just look at the ceiling as I make a drink. So you can listen. So there's that, and then I got a beer, and then some hot sauce. Beer, hot sauce. We've got vodka in there. We got tomato juice. Well, it's gonna be V8. No matter what you do, I don't really care how you break it down. V8 is that Jimmy Jam. I just like the low sodium stuff, but I suppose the full version of V8, all the sodium is good enough. Okay, now we need a little garlic, a little onion, and I don't know where the shrimp or the clamata is, so we're gonna work without it, I guess. I would ask said lady, but she has now removed herself from my presence due to my own idiotic actions, I suppose. Oh, and so, and also don't forget you can replace. I would not replace the hot pepper, or excuse me, I would not replace the hot sauce with hot pepper, but you could. And I would also add fresh cracked pepper, ground pepper, or if you don't have that, you know, whatever you got. A couple ice cubes, and I think we'll be good to go. Oh, I forgot the most important part. Don't let me forget this. Worcestershire. How do we do that? Where did you go, little Worcestershire sauce? Got it. Don't worry, you can see my stupid face in a second. So check it out, y'all. I'll give you guys like 10 more minutes right now. And then I'm gonna try to communicate with another human being. See if that works. Which I highly doubt, but we'll see. And then whatever. We'll get into some more talks, but yeah, you gotta agree with the Gnostic teaching. Let me readdress that. The Gnostic teaching would be like, I couldn't even agree with everything anyone said about a fucking tomato. How could I know everything that Gnostics ever said? I agree with the idea of Gnosticism, whilst simultaneously being an agnostic person. I'm spiritual but not religious. Like those ones? That's pretty good. Okay. Come with me. We've made the drink. Okay, back to square root. What's the square root of 144? Easy. Let's go. Square root of 156. Let's go. Come on. Don't you know your math? Mr. Mannion. Okay, people whomst think God is evil. Well, that would be the assumption that most people believe God is something to do with the Christian God, and in that sense, I don't know. I read the book. I don't see what he, and I don't see what his kid Jesus is doing, but because it's all allegory to me, anyways. So I'm not. I can't really. That'd be a long enough conversation to have, because you'd have to. It's like, what is the meaning of is basically what you're saying. You'd have to describe to me exactly who you're talking about, what they define the God of this realm as. Who is it? Is it of any of the books? Is it a physical being? Is he a giant? Is it an imagination? Is it an ideology? There's too many things going on there, but I don't know. I'm the God of this realm, so what? Am I evil? Sometimes, I guess. Whatever. Be like, Mr. Mannion. Romp. Okay, I got you on. Okay, now if you've cleaned the idea up, I wasn't following what you're saying. The reincarnation into this reality is a trap. Perhaps. But saying into this reality, to reincarnating into like this realm, because I think there's just way many more places to be. It's not that this place is essentially evil. It's that the people that are marketing and running it, meaning the people that are writing the books and writing the stories, and they seem to not have a. Some of them have a very good purpose. Others are just using it to manipulate and mold minds into being slaves. But that's a long, long talk. We'll do. Okay, we'll do a whole video on that. I do. Funny enough, I do have some old ones on Gnosticism and the demiurge. Funny enough, I did a whole video. I don't even know how I remember doing this. I did a whole video on the demiurge from the bathtub. It's like an hour and a half video. Yeah, I'll re-release it for you because I'm pretty sure I didn't say anything too ridiculous. Hey Darren, I that's so funny. Darren, that's very funny. Let's see. What should be known as my passivity towards things is never to be taken as well, what do they say, like passivity, like kindness for weakness? Like no, it's not like that. Yeah. Darren, hey, that's a good place to put such animals, scum like me, that do nothing to provide any kind of care or. Interesting. Look at these cute little animals, though. The cat and the dog actually get along really well. So cute. The cat will often give the dog little like rubs. It's really funny. I think everybody knows better my character traits. Well, it's not my character, and it's not my. I don't know. It's like saying my persona. I don't really have such things. It's always moment modified. Yes, moment modified, meaning in any situation, I'm not. They're like, you don't treat everybody the same. Like everybody doesn't need to be treated the same. That would be very cowardice on my part to be always like, I'm a good Christian. I'm gonna fucking do this for you right now. Then that would mean that I have to give everybody that asks me $1. What if somebody doesn't? Why would I do that? Some people I'll give $100 to, and some people I'll be like, get the fuck away from me. I'm gonna fucking kick you in your testicles. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see why anybody should treat everyone the same. We're not all the same. I don't believe in equality. Equality is disconnected from nature and reality. It's called equanimity. Tomatoes need water and sunshine. Other things grow underground. Lemons don't grow in the north. That's equality would say that all those fruits should grow in this, everywhere, all the time. No, that's equanimity. They get what they need, where they need it, how they need it. Pay attention to reality. Reality is the things that are naturally growing and occurring around you. And I'll explain to you how to interact with different things. If I put tomatoes on two sides of the house and one side doesn't grow, it's because perhaps the soil is different. There's different microbes in there. There's different species of soil. Or maybe it's getting less sunlight. Or maybe 100 different things. What does it say? Oh, I planted you in the soil. Is that not equal? No. Equanimable. Equanimable. Ah, Rampe, I hear you. Well, yeah. There is that. Yeah, no. I don't normally deal with that much of it. Only because because I'm so Geministic that I just do that instantaneously. Like because I'm being the same thing. I don't really mean it as mean as I might seem to come off, and I don't mean it as nice as I mean to come off. It's kind of balanced, but they see it like polar opposites. But when they do it, they're dramatically involved in whatever emotion. Your emotions suck. Your feelings are good and very important. Your emotions are garbage and dog shit. They should be thrown into a trash heap. Yeah, I mean, you know, think what you want and emote, have that emotion, but don't, your feelings, like, it's like if you go to a comedy club, you sit down at the table with people that are going to be like just trashing each other. I promise you, they're not doing it to hurt each other. Go to an MMA, go to a boxing class, MMA class. Go do that. When people are fighting each other, they're not mad at each other. They're sharpening their sword. They're sharpening their IQ. They're making them better at something because they want to be both be better at that, whatever that skill is. But as a life skill, I think the most important thing is people to learn how to fucking take a joke. It's like gay dudes. If you can take a dick, you can take a joke. You know what I'm saying, faggots? Ooh, that's an old one. That's like a '90s joke, and I think that was actually on a hip hop album. Could you say that today? Well, I can say that now because people already know I'm joking. I'll kiss you right in the face. I don't care what you look like. I think the music actually put the animals to sleep. They are straight. Yeah. Remember that. Remember I've explained this many a times, and I no one has heard me say this before. Let me explain the difference. Your feelings are if I hit you with a if I throw a football and it's going to this guy and it kind of veers off and he doesn't catch it and it hits you in the arm. The feeling is, oh my gosh, that is a feeling that I have. That's like pressure or a pain or something or whatever that is. That's a feeling. If you look over and you see me through the ball and I go, sorry, your emotion is how you respond to that feeling. Your emotions are I mean, granted, if I'm sitting here looking and I just pin just a heater at you, and then your feeling and your resulting response are necessary and perfect. But you know, most people they don't. I forget who said it, but it was that I think it was a Gandhi thing. Being angry is evil. Being angry is easy. Being angry at the right person is difficult. Being angry at the right time is more difficult. Being angry at the right person at the right time in the right place is almost impossible. Hope you got that Gandhi joint right there. Being angry, well, Rumpy, no. Anger is a perfect response. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, if you're not angry at the people on the news, the media, for what they're doing right now, if you're not angry at most doctors, if you're not angry about it, then you're fully dead to the world. You make no sense. You're invaluable to existence. The way that you respond with your anger is of many different. I mean, read any major book on like the art of war. Uh, read any of those kind of books, Machiavelli. Read How to Play Chess, Amateur's Mind. You don't get mad that you don't get mad at you like okay, that's fucking retarded, and you. It's not to be cold, calm, and calculated and be a methodical, poisonous, unempathetic prick. It's like you just to actually properly focus on why, where, when, who, what am I pissed at? Like getting hit with a if you get hit with a snowball that kids are playing with and you rage against the snowball and the kid, you've lost it. You're mad that here's what that person's mad at. They're mad that they live in the north where there's snow and they'd rather be living in the south. But they're not even mad at that because they're mad that they could be upset. They could be going emotional because of family member dying. It could be their wife's an asshole or maybe their husband's an asshole. I don't know. Maybe they just lost their job. Who the fuck knows? But the displaced anger is a general sense of this reality. Generally, what people do here is they misplace anger, they project other things that have nothing to do with the situations going on. We've all done it. We usually do it in micro places. But anger is not toxic. No way. No. There's what's called. Let me explain again. There's a toxic. What's the opposite of anger? Toxic happiness. People they're called smiling depressives. They're toxic. You can't be happy about everything. It's an impossibility. And people that are overly like they're pushing. I'm happy. I'm saying I'm happy. I just said I'm happy. Am I not happy? I'm sorry, motherfucker. I can feel things. I can see other realities. I know you're not happy, but you're projecting as if you're happy and you're not. Accept your unhappiness in the moment as a thing as anything else is. None of those people are willing to feel fully their emotions about anything. And feel fully their emotions means to go through whatever that emotion is about that shit that's going on anywhere. You feel that emotion and process the emotion and get back to just feeling. Go back to what dogs and cats and everybody else, they feel something. They're not emoting. It takes a long time before their trauma-based system is imprinted upon their memory system. High level shit right here. Look at humans' trauma-based memory system either happens early in life. They're similar with dogs and cats, right? And any animal. Trauma-based memory systems. Either you have a trauma that happens as a totality at once, that's major issue, easier to deal with, or you have a miniature trauma, microaggressions, and those are more difficult to define for people because they don't know how to. Let's use it. What's a hot button? Unpack. They can't unpack that. Like, why does everybody like that? Like sometimes, like most of the time, for reality, most of the time it's not you, it's not me, it's somebody else projecting most of the time. And your only responsibility is like, how do I deal with that? Because there's nothing else you can do. Like I can't go back and fix your trauma of your mother not loving you when you were 2 years old and you pooped your pants and somebody left you in the crib too long and you got poopy, diaper, dungy, berry dingles on your fingers and ate it and puked and like I can't fix that. But that will be some sort of psychological trauma that people will carry with them to the point that they could be 60 years old and they're like, why am I an angry old man? I don't know. What's up, Veve KB? Veve KB. Oh, where am I? I'm in Mississippi. Yeah. Anger does not make harmony go in the wrong direction. Remember, harmony, the root word is harm. But again, part of the deal. Yeah. I agree with you, Darren. Getting angry, but move on. Yeah, don't let it attach to you. Don't observe it, but don't let its tentacles get into you. It's like this. When I used to watch movies in Baltimore, and I'd hang out I'd work the airport, and I hung out in the city. And I knew a lot of melanated folk, my good friends. They would always say to me, I was like, "Hey, what are we gonna watch?" And we're talking about like watching a movie, which I think anybody would say. They go, "No, what are we looking at?" They would always, because they defined it as what they're observing and looking at, not what they're involved in. If you watch something, it's like if you watch a bird, you're really studying it. You're like, oh, that's it. As you watch your watch. But if you're looking at something, it's just there. It's just over there. I don't know if they knew. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that that's how they associated it, but that's how I associated it in big time, in a major way. That everyone else watches things as if, like a watched pot never boils. A watch is on your wrist, and you're holding all this. Where if you're just looking at something, I'm just looking. Like somebody on the street, somebody's on the train, you in New York City or whatever. The fuck you looking at? You know? I don't, you know? There's all attitude about looking at and watching things. Damn, Darren. Yeah, man. Well, the lack of empathy for people, it's a learned behavior. The children are not like that. We're born as, you know, as connected to the world as possible in every way, and then everything we're given after that as pieces of knowledge and information from our relationships with doctors, teachers, parents, it doesn't really match up with what a suitable, caring environment would look like. But why does that occur? I'll tell you why. Because of fiat currency, because of leveraging finances, because of people having way more and people not like it would be fine and okay and dandy if people were really rich and had lots of things, but as long as everybody else just had enough, less crime would occur, next to none. Crime and drug use would go down if everybody had a place to live. You don't gotta rob somebody for some money to get some food. So if everybody's like provided, like, hey, don't get me wrong, I ain't talking about communism here. I ain't talking about all that bullshit. I ain't talking about UBI. I ain't talking about none of this shit. All I'm saying is, you want to see the baser level of human beings be erased. The baser level of human beings and how like people need just get to the base of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, figure it out. The basis of what people need: food, clothes, shelter. There we go. That's the baser reality. If you provide for that, you get none of the problems that would be resulted upon by people not having such things. But we, in capitalist societies, even in communist societies, that you push people to a point that they don't have anything, no money, no shelter, and what do you think their response will be? Drugs, rob. You know, I mean, you're getting the opposite response because you don't provide, despite the fact that nature everywhere has everything you need. But people don't live in those environments. And they don't know how to obtain such things. But the people that should be, that have everything, they could just push a button and change things. They just go, no. Why would we do that? It's funny. It's like the what's the movie? Justin Timberlake, In Time, where they live in different time zones with how much time's on their thing, and he gets to the high level. Like, they want to kill time. He wants to kill time because how dare they? How dare they? Because they purchase more time. But those people they've had to divide themselves so far from everybody else that is exactly the same as them. Understand, everybody's the same, right? But then you got to have the Pope in a glass, like, Pope mobile. You got to have people with have bulletproof shits. Like, for what? Nobody want to kill you. Like, well, well, I would worry about who's in there. What the fuck are you doing that people want to kill you? Unless you're stealing from people and robbing and like pillaging. But why do they do that? Because they need more for their family, because of the system that is in place, which allows for less to be very less than and more to be like glamorous and right in your face, fuck you. And the people that don't have anything, like, I just think it's a little fucking weird. Which, if we get back to me rather than just making a statement, it's weird. That is why people are bonded emotionally to traumatic stress disorders that were built upon economic slavery systems that enabled people to have more and some to have less, and people to not care about each other. Therefore, violence and drugs and those became as the rich become richer, then you have to bring up the poor. The poor have to become poorer, and the drugs and the all the things that they do, and the stealing and the thieving. What else would they do? They just need the essentials to get by, and it can't even be provided for. That's completely fucking incoherent. It's not noble. These people that have a lot of money are not noble. They're not royalty. Fuck them. Yeah, Darren, watch these kids play, man. It's so much fun. Yeah, well, because they programmed you on TV. If you can't do that. You know what's funny is some of the people in Hollywood. I don't know if they know it. Some of the people in Hollywood know. Some of the people, if you watch a lot of movies, they'll always make references to piss and drinking your piss. Some of them might. I know a lot of actresses and supermodels used to use urine on their face. I don't know how much of them, how many of them really know, or if they're just acting it out. But that's the real. I mean, anybody here, you know. Hey, well, check it out. I'm gonna go take a pee pee, and it's been a pleasure. I'll come back on here pretty soon, I suppose. Sometime today. It's only 2 o'clock, so yeah. Let me go interact with the world at large. And you guys are welcome to say thanks and tips and donations and whatever. Or if you want one-on-ones, Theoluminous, TheOluminous @gmail means light of, God light, whatever, light of God, blah, blah, blah. And CashApp PayPal, because I do still have to pay for this bill and my house bill. Theoluminous, TheOluminous. Remember, that's for one-on-ones and whatever you guys want to talk about. Or TsarXen, TsarXen. That's my PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And I still got to eat, So, good to see everybody. And we'll talk to y'all soon. It's good to see you, Skull and Darren and Rumpe and who else the fuck is in here? Yeah, Skull and Rumpe and whoever the fuck else is left. Stay cool. Sorry if I missed anybody's chats in here. You know this happens sometimes. Toodles, have a good day. Remember, inspire the world if you can. If you can't do that, take care of yourself. Piss and love, huh? Take the piss.